Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, and this is Liverpool versus Norwich. Your match reaction: Liverpool 3, Norwich 1. Certainly a first half that was kind of indifferent with a lot of energy, but a brilliant result in the end. Ran out, shows the mentality of these guys, referred to as mentality monsters at times. Little bit of a shock right after half time where we went 1-0 behind. But certainly, let's get into this match reaction and player ratings. Interesting lineup to start with. Joe Gomez in at right back. Tomiskas at left back replacing Robbo. A midfield of Keita, Hendo and Ox. Diaz, Mane and Mo up front. So certainly lots of attacking options there. But started out Norwich came out of the blocks very quick in the first 5 minutes, even in the first couple of minutes, creating a couple of sort of half chances, stuff like that, to give us a little bit of a scare and wake us up a little bit. But yeah, goals from Rashika on 48, Mane on 64, Mo Salah on 67, joining the 150 club. The difference between him and Luis Diaz today, Luis Diaz getting his first goal in front of the Kop. Absolutely brilliant on 81 minutes, and Salah on 67 minutes, scoring his 150th goal. Imagine how Luis Diaz will do if he ever reaches the 50 or the century or the 150. Be unbelievable. But yeah, as we said, that real scare then, Norwich City, getting that first goal that kind of woke us up on 48 minutes from Rashika. Ball in from the chap Sargent, who had a real good game, I think. But they gave us a good old tough game, good old run for our money, but it was wave after wave of opportunity for Liverpool. Just in the final third, a little bit casual. I mean, when you see the amount of chances that we have and the amount of attempts on goal, and you compare that to the amount on target, there's so many that don't hit the target at times, And I just think at times when we go into that final third, there's a kind of a casualness, a lacklusterness, there isn't that killer cutting edge at times, so different to the second half, of course. But the first half reminded me of that old, remember we used to describe our players, that old heavy metal football, end to end kind of stuff. We're certainly with Norwich, first 5 minutes, absolutely starting the brighter, But yeah, unbelievable going in at half time then. I'm sure it must have been weird. I mean, the Anfield crowd were bewildered, I'm sure, at a 0-0 scoreline with the amount of opportunities that came up. And I suppose it's not unusual. I mean, we were a little bit disjointed, I would say, because, I mean, obviously Klopp ran 7 changes from the game against Milan midweek and stuff like that. Van Dijk was unlucky with the goal that was disallowed. Definitely an offside, but very unlucky nonetheless on 37 minutes. Went in 0-0. As I said, crowd a little bit bewildered by the scoreline. Couldn't believe we hadn't scored at that stage, Second half, as I said, after 48 minutes, a little bit cold, Rashika comes out, fires in a shot, deflects off Matip, leaves Alisson Becker grounded with no chance. But then more of the same. Reds with that high energy, real high energy all the time, but just little rewards, just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Jurgen Klopp again having those options on the bench. We keep on talking about it. Finally, we have options on the bench that we can pull from. And on 63rd minute, he's with frustration grown, City were defending superbly. He pulls Ox and Keita off, puts on Thiago and Origi. Origi bringing a little bit of energy, but Thiago in the midfield must be at this stage nearly a shoe-in for a starter. Just takes down the ball, creates that kind of calmness and control, looks around, sees a pass, uses the ball so cleverly. So absolutely brilliant from Thiago today. Straight away, Thiago straight into the game. Have to mention as well, what a reception Divock Origi got. The Anfield crowd, could they love this guy anymore? And I keep on saying I'd love him to stay and just get more and more involved. But absolutely loved by the Anfield crowd when he came on, singing his name, 64-minute ball out to the left, Tomiskas with a weighted header into the box, beautiful floated header into the box, and Mane finally pulling off a bicycle kick that he's been trying now for the last few games, and it hits the back of the net. 1-1, absolutely sublime finish. 67 minutes, ball in Alisson Becker's hands, about to roll the ball out, sees Salah make that cagey run, that crossfield ball, and out goes Alisson Becker. Absolute kick, spot on. Salah with sublime control, outside of the foot, takes it down, dinks it across the 18-yard line, puts the keeper on his backside, puts two defenders the other way, and literally rolls the ball into the bottom left corner, makes it 2-1. And this is wave after wave now. Here we go. Unbelievable ball from Alisson Becker. The only thing I was waiting on was for Alisson Becker, who again run the length of the pitch and end up in Mo Salah's arms. 81st minute, Jordan Henderson picks up the ball. What can we say about our captain? Captain fantastic. Picks up the ball, sees a sublime crossfield run from Luis Diaz. The pace of this man is unbelievable. Slots through a sublime pass to Diaz, who takes up the ball on his stride. Keeper comes out, flicks the ball over the keeper, gets his first goal, runs to the corner of the Kop, celebrates like a kid at Christmas. And what a reception he got. He gets pulled off right at the death then, obviously, to get the plaudits from the crowd, the Anfield crowd. First goal, always so, so special. And on comes Minamino, as he does from time to time at this stage. But three very different goals with absolutely equal amounts of class, precision, and quality. And that's the kind of thing we need in that, that final third that was lacking in the first half. So many chances created, but just not putting them away, just not seeing the game evolve the way it does in that final third, and being a bit more clever and a bit more purposeful with our control and our passing and our finishing. But 3-1. Over to you now, Man City, who are playing Spurs in the evening game. Interesting to see if Spurs can do us a favour. I wouldn't be holding my breath, but if they can, certainly we're going to have a very interesting title race. Let's get on to the player ratings. Let's start. Alisson Becker, give him an 8 out of 10. Came for a few balls, slightly busy and stuff like that. Came for a few balls and dealt with them well. But I was well impressed with the one that came in on the right-hand side that he ran out and blocked before the offside flag came up. And he does that so often. He just plays nearly to the whistle or to the flag, but makes so many of those saves, spreading himself so big and stuff like that. So an 8 for Alisson. Joe Gomez, I give an 8 too on the right back there, but obviously purposeful and obviously moving forward. We know he isn't Trent, but several times some passing up the Salah and stuff like that. Really, really good from Joe Gomez today, and great to see him back in the side. And who knows? Maybe that's the option for Joe Gomez. Let's see what happens with Trent and stuff like that. Joel Matip gave a 6 too. Spent most of the first half really just mopping up and stuff like that and all, but his biggest moment came in an outstretched boot right after the restart, which deflected Rashica's shot away from Alisson into the opener. Very unlucky and stuff like that. But give him a 6. Didn't really do anything wrong, didn't really do anything right, but didn't really impose himself on the game. Van Dijk gave a 7. Really good finish for the one that was ruled out. Very unlucky. Always strong in the air for clearances and stuff like that and crosses. No problem in terms of pace and stuff like that and all. But with the number of corners that we got, I would have expected either himself and Joel to be on the end of a couple of them. The delivery at times wasn't great. But once we get corners, I think we should be looking for these two boys a lot more to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what we talk about in that final third, a bit more purposeful in what we do. Costas got a 7. Absolutely brilliant. What we expect from Costas these days, you know what I mean? Puts in a great shift all the time. A perfect deputy for Andy Robinson. Full of energy, full of grit, nastiness and desire. Always wants to get stuck in. Very unlucky with that early effort that he blazed over. That's what I'm saying. A bit more composure in that final third. You just slot that ball home, and we go 1-0 up. But a brilliant header in for Mane's bicycle kick as well. So a 7 for Costas. Jordan Henderson, I gave an 8 too. Just always getting stuck in, comes on, controls that midfield as he does, but just brings a lot of energy and stuff like that, brings a good tempo, but keeping the Reds on the front foot all the time and stuff like that, and was absolutely brilliant in the build-up for the equaliser, but also that ball through to Diaz was absolutely sublime. Ox, I gave a 5 to today, just was never really in the game, didn't hear him mentioned much at all, a lot of overhit passes, turned over possession a number of times, just really wasn't in the game and looked very rusty for a guy who was coming off the bench who hadn't been playing in a match for a while. Naby Keita, I gave a 7 to. I think he was industrious in the first half. Movement, a bit of passing and stuff like that. But I think Naby Keita, for a midfielder and a guy of his quality who's playing at Liverpool, we should expect a lot more. And I expect him to have more of an impact on the game in those key moments. But didn't. Mo Salah, man of the match, give him a 9. Absolutely brilliant. Constantly involved, constantly threatening. 150 goals for Liverpool, unbelievable, absolutely fantastic. Inside 5 minutes should have had a goal and an assist. Very unlucky. His footwork and his control is absolutely electric. I mean, that ball that he took down from Alisson's kick out, just side foot down, killed it dead. The difference it makes is unbelievable and absolutely on fire at the moment. This man, give him the golden boot now. He just cannot stop scoring. But his overall play and trying to play things in, and it'll take time to create that kind of relationship with Luis Diaz as well. But once those boys start reading each other a little bit more, and Mane as well, it's going to be an incredible partnership up there. And also when you look at his celebration and stuff like that, I picked up on it today when he celebrated and he was in front of the crowd giving it all this and all. Doesn't look like a man who wants to leave. So FSG, get to it and get it sorted, will you? Excuse me. Luis Diaz, I gave an 8 to today. Always very strong in the terms of energy and pushing and attack and all, chasing stuff down. Doesn't let you settle on the ball at all. Absolutely brilliant movement for a number of opportunities, but also brilliant movement for the goal that he got, where he went right across the box for that brilliant pass that Jordan picked out. And it's nice to see already in such an early stage in his career at Liverpool that himself and Henderson on that kind of wavelength, really, really impressive. Sadio Mane, I gave an 8 to as well. Excuse me, really, really busy as a number 9. Show great link-up play and stuff like that. Always trying to get involved. You know what you get with Sadio Mane. It's hard to know. We're trying to figure out whether he's going to get a new deal or not. We're hoping that he stays and stuff like that, because we really need these options up front. As you've seen today, now Firmino and now Diogo Jota both out injured, one with a muscle, and Diogo as well with a ligament issue. So it's really important that we have all these options. And if anything, the last 2 weeks has shown us that when you do have a bench and you do have a squad, the difference that it makes for the gaffer in terms of the options, in terms of how we can deploy players. We've seen it in the Milan game. We've seen it today in the Norwich game. But absolutely scored a beautiful bicycle kick as well that came off him. He was so unlucky against Milan as well. He nearly got one against Milan as well, hit the side net. But yeah, we're starting to see shades of it, you know what I mean? And the one thing that I'm liking at the moment from Mane and Salah as well, they're not showing too much rustiness or tiredness or legginess from the AFCON. So we have Leeds coming up now on Wednesday, and then we have the Carabao Cup final next weekend. So it's a huge week coming up for us, In terms of the ratings on the substitutions, Thiago came on for Ox, gave him an 8. Absolute show of passing he put on. Nothing more to be said about it. Just absolutely brilliant from Thiago. Divock Origi got a 7, came on from Keita on 62. Nice to see him back with a bit of fitness and stuff like that. And great to see him on. Got an absolute great reception. But yeah, good to see him getting involved. It's hard to understand with Origi what he's going to do. Must be an absolute nightmare to try and mark and stuff like that. Sometimes he drops deep, sometimes he goes forward, but just a big, rangy type of guy. Taki, I didn't give a rating to. Literally just came on. It was just a tactical substitution, really, just to give Diaz the crowd plaudits, as they say. So onwards and upwards, it is title race on. The gap is now 6 points. City playing Spurs this evening. Let's see how that goes. And we move on to Wednesday now. Tough game against Leeds. Try and put another 3 points on the board. That'll be our game in hand. And then we move on next weekend to the Carabao Cup final. Hopefully we can put on a good show down at Anfield South in Wembley. And hopefully win our first piece of silverware against Chelsea next weekend. Till next time, Reds, appreciate it. Let us know your comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the match reaction yourselves. Let us know what you thought of the player ratings if you agreed or disagreed. And we will talk to you again real soon.